This is going to be a bit of a different video, but I just found out tonight that we have to move out of our flat in a little over 2 months' time. As any YouTuber does when something, I don't know, big happens in life, we think about how we can make a useful piece of content from it. So, this video is going to be sort of a vlog, sort of a moving advice video. It's going to be filmed across however long it takes us to find a flat. I'm going to be showing you the whole process that I go through. I'll be able to take you to viewings, give you tips for dealing with estate agents, etc. And just in general, I hope, give some good advice about flat hunting in London. So right now, I've literally just found out and I'm springing right into action because I know how long it took us to find such a great place last time. So I'm going to start with thinking about what area we want to live in. Right now we're in Wandsworth, but we want to move closer to Central because both Mark and I work in like East Central London and want to have a bit less of a commute if possible. Could turn out to not be affordable because obviously the closer you move to Central, the more expensive flats get. But anyway, all of that will be covered in this video, I'm sure, as we go along. So I'm going to get to researching. To start hunting for flats, you should immediately sign up for the major flat hunting websites. I've found that Rightmove and Zoopla have been the most useful ones for me. On there you can save a search so you can be notified when new properties come on the market, and they also have apps so you can stay on top of them from your phone as well, which helps when you are busy. Now, I've only had experience looking to rent a whole flat, but if you are looking for just a room in an already set up flat, I've heard Spare Room is a good site for that. I would be careful with sites like Gumtree for either whole flats or rooms in flats because there can be a lot of scammers on there, and I would recommend you never put down a deposit for a property without seeing it first. If you don't know London very well, it can be hard to decide which area to live in. The best thing to do is just talk to people and hear what they say about the areas that they live in. There are also plenty of blog posts online about it, so do some research for the types of areas you want to live in. It's a good idea to visit these areas to get a feel for them and see if they suit you as well before you commit to living there. If you start looking at properties in the areas you're vaguely interested in, you'll soon get an idea of how much value for money you get there. Generally, you'll find that living below the river is cheaper, but above the river is like a cooler place to be with more going on, so it depends what's important for you. When I say cheaper below the river, I mean relative to London, because rent in London is quite expensive, so be prepared for that. And when you're working out how much you can afford to spend on rent, keep in mind things like council tax, because different areas of London have different taxes you have to pay on top of your rent, and also think about the cost of your commute. So last week I got all the necessary flat hunting apps set up on my phone, but I didn't go on any viewings because I didn't find anything that was available in the right time frame. They were all saying available now, and I knew that I was busy at the weekend and that we're not looking to move in right now, so I thought I'd leave it until this week. So now we're a week on from finding out that we have to move, and I have been in contact with a lot of agents today. I think I've inquired about 8 properties, and I just wanted to show you my setup for how I keep track of everything going on. So on this first tab of the spreadsheet, I've got links to the places that I'm going to view, all the ones that I've inquired about with an agent and they are still available. So in the second tab in my spreadsheet, I've got a list of the agents that I've contacted. When you call up an agent, they will generally want to add you to their register, and that means that you'll be alerted when any new properties come up on their listings that match what you're searching for, and that's a really handy thing to do. It does mean you're going to get a lot of emails, but it's useful because sometimes you'll find out about properties before they go up on sites like Rightmove or Zoopla. So aside from the 2 that I'm viewing properties with, I'm also on the list for 5 other agencies, and hopefully I'm going to get some emails through with more properties soon because they did tell me that it's busy season right now for flat hunting, so there should be lots coming on the market very shortly for our move-in dates. So that's good to hear, but hopefully there'll be nice properties that I actually want to live in, fingers crossed, because I don't know, there's not been any I'm too excited about so far. The one I was actually excited about was one that has gone, so that happens. You can't get attached to places too easily because they do disappear. Anyway, right now I'm going to just go through a couple more listings, maybe make a couple more phone calls before the agents close for the evening. With London flatting, you can get nice places, you can get places close to the city centre, and you can get flats that are a reasonable price, but generally you can only have 2 of these things at once. If you want to live near the city centre but have a small budget, you'll likely be living in a shoebox, and if you want a nice place for a good price, it's likely that you'll live further out. You just need to decide which of these things is important for you. So it's Saturday and I've come out to Balham today to do a bit of flat hunting, do some viewings. It's always good to try and line them all up on the same day, like on the half hour or whatever, depending on how far apart they are from each other. So far, I quite like the area. It seems very residential. The flat I'm looking at now is on a main road though, it seems, so I don't know if that's going to be any good. I don't know, but this is the first viewing of the day, and then there is 4 more after this. When going on viewings, especially if you go to multiple in one day, make sure you take notes about each place on your phone so that you can differentiate them in your mind and note thoughts that you had in the moment. Good things to take note of are the general state of the flat and the area it's in, and you should try and picture yourself living there. That's a good way to get a good feel for a place. Often you'll be shown around by the agent, but sometimes viewings will be more like open homes where a bunch of people see it at once. Don't feel pressured to make a decision on the spot, even if the agent sort of asks you to, but be aware that if it's a place you absolutely love, you should apply for it as soon as possible, because most London planning situations are first in, first served. They do get snapped up quickly, so you don't want to miss out on a place that you really do love. Some agencies will make you pay a holding fee when you apply, and that means that the property will be taken off the market so no one else can view it or apply for it, or the landlord considers your offer. And that's a good thing because it means that no one can come in and beat your offer. The landlord has to look at yours first to make a decision. If the landlord accepts your offer, the fee usually counts towards your deposit, and if they don't, then you'll get it refunded. Different agencies do have different letting fees as well, so be aware of that when you're searching, and don't go for an agency that has a ridiculously high fee. So, quick update on the flat hunt. None of the ones that I saw on the weekend were right. I feel like when you walk into a flat, you do get a vibe from it, and it's important to listen to those vibes. There were some that were all right, that I know would be fine to live in, but they all had like one little thing wrong with them. Like there was one that was really nice place, 2 bedrooms, so I could have had an office, but it was in a council tax area, because that's the thing in London, like I explained before, that was more expensive. So that meant that all around we were paying more rent, and it was, you know, quite far away, so I didn't think it was worth it. Yesterday though at work, I had a call from an estate agent who said that they had a property they thought I should look at, because I'd expanded my search a little more from the first initial areas that I was looking at. It was in Wandsworth Town, which is not far away from where I am now, and I wasn't thinking about staying in the area. I was, you know, thinking about moving closer to work or whatever. But he was like, I think you should look at this, it's going to be a really good deal, and I think you'll like it. So I was like, oh, all right. So he sent the link through, and just immediately I loved it from the photos, and that's the first time that I'd felt like, yes, I need to see this. So I arranged to see it on Wednesday, but then I was sitting there at lunchtime thinking that the London property market just moves so fast that flats disappear in an instant. And I was like, I'm not going to forgive myself if I don't go see it tonight and, you know, someone else takes it. So I decided to postpone all the other viewings that I had scheduled for last night instead and go see this one, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it, and I'm crossing my fingers that we get it. I got to meet the owner, and he said that he'll be happy to take what we were offering, but he could change his mind overnight, who knows? As I've learned previously in London, that you shouldn't celebrate your victories too early, so I won't, you know, believe it's ours until he's signed on the dotted line. So immediately after seeing it, I put in an offer, because that is how the process works in London. That was something new to me coming from Wellington, or New Zealand in general, I think, where you just, the price of the flat is the price that it's listed for, and you apply for it, and if you get it, that's the price you pay. Here in London though, you put in an offer, so you state how much you want to pay and how long you want the contract to be, and if there's any like disclaimers or, you know, conditions, I think is the right word, around it. So put in an offer, and fingers crossed he accepts. Have to wait to find out this morning, I think. I hope that the next clip is not of me being sad that we lost out on the flat, but I have since looked into a couple of other flats in this similar sort of area, and it seems like you can get a lot more for your money there than where we were looking, so I think that's why we'll probably end up staying around here, because flat hunting in London is all about working out what you want from a flat. That triangle thing that I mentioned before, different things are going to be important to different people. So for us, as I've worked out from looking at a lot of places, I've realised that what is important to me is having a nice place to call home, because I actually do spend a lot of time at home. So that is why we've decided that we probably won't live much closer to work than we are now, because you don't get as much for your money out there, and also we're not willing to spend half of our salary on rent, which is what a lot of people in London end up doing. So it is possible to find a nice place for less than that. You just have to put up with a slightly longer commute. Anyway, I will update you later on today, I hope, when I find out about this flat. So I've got some good news. We got the flat. The offer was accepted, which is really exciting. I can't believe that we found it so quickly. Like, I think I only was hunting for about 2 weeks. I did go see quite a few places, but much less than last time. But I did look at a lot of things and, you know, contact a lot of people. It's a numbers game with flat hunting in London, and we have just, you know, it's just opportune that this one was available at the right time. I switched around some viewings, like I think I said, to go and see it immediately, and I think that helped because I mean no one else could get in before me. So that's definitely a tip. If there's one you really like the look of from the photos, go to that first and don't worry about postponing all the other viewings, because the other estate agents they'll work it out, they'll fill in the viewings with someone else. So yeah, now I'm on my way to the agency to go and give them my like proof of address and everything so that we can get the contract process started. Woo! So it took us like 3 weeks to get all the paperwork sorted, like all the referencing through and then the contracts through. We had some queries about some things listed in the contracts, which we then, you know, asked the agents about and new ones, but all that was finally sorted and we've got the flat. This is actually our move-in week, but I've decided to put the moving process in another vlog because this video is long enough already, I'm sure, so stay tuned to see that coming out next week, and I'll link it up there on a card when it's out. I hope you found this video useful and that it's given you some advice for finding a flat in London. If you are flat hunting at the moment, then I wish you the very best of luck, and I hope that everything turns out well for you too, because I'm really happy with where we've ended up. Even though, as you saw, it's not what we were originally intending on, but it's all worked out for the best in the end. Thanks for watching this video, give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the moving vlog. Bye!